Let's switch over and talk about how your perceptions have changed. Obviously, like before going to law school, entering the legal career,
Mm.
um, and I'm assuming I know my perceptions have changed, or like what
Okay,
I thought a lawyer would be, right?
sure.
Like there's shows out there, I'm like, hey, being Harvey Specter would be
Yeah,
awesome,
yeah. So I I love TV and movies. Avid reader. I consume a lot of different media, but I've never really been like a courthouse drama person.
Hmm.
Not that there's nothing wrong with them, just never really stuck with me. So it's not like that was any kind of motivating factor. I'm not related to any attorneys, so that really wasn't anything. Um, I honestly, I wasn't exactly sure what kind of lawyer I wanted to be, and then I went to law school, and my initial reaction was like, oh, I think I'll do something like civil rights related or something like that.
Hmm.
And as interesting as that is to study from like an outside perspective, like an academic perspective, like I did in like undergrad and stuff like that, the actual like I guess the intricacies of the type of law around it, it'd be like more constitutional based and stuff like that. And
Right.
I didn't like it. I
Okay.
didn't like it from like a practical standpoint,
Yeah.
and it didn't. I don't know. It didn't stick with me the exact same way. It's a little bit more abstract, a little bit more argument based. You read these things and they're just opinions written by whoever's on the bench at that time, and you're like, okay, but why? And they're just
Hmm.
like, oh, because he thought that way, and it's like, okay, but why?
It's
And
because of the spirit of the law and our
I
founders,
get
and
it, and I get
yeah.
it, but then I just ended up gravitating more towards like things with finite answers,
Right.
where UCC codes,
Right. Right.
which I don't know, it just works a little bit better in my brain for some reason.
Yeah, it's a little more clear cut, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess that's why. And if some people are like, oh, that sounds really dry, that's totally cool, more for me, whatever. You go handle your stuff.
Gotcha. So,
But yeah, no, that changed, and then uh, as far as like what lawyer was, I don't know. I really hadn't been around many lawyers.
right.
And I don't know. I guess the perception of what law school was definitely changed. I didn't expect it to be so damn hard. Um, but that changed, and then getting to actually watch people practice when I was a clerk, a judicial clerk, that was actually pretty much what I expected it to be.
Hmm.
That was pretty cool. But then I guess really getting out there and what I do now, and going to different events and meeting different attorneys in different subfields and that kind of thing,
Hmm.
that really changed things. Just kind of everyone's different. Everyone has a different attitude, very different mindsets. I mean, it's like I think you end up really just realizing that it's like anything else, where just people vary in any walk of life. But like it is, the legal field is very different than what I would have guessed, going into it, or say 10 years ago, what I would have thought it was.
Hmm.
It's just once you're actually in it, it's a little bit different.
I guess what advice would you have for somebody considering law school and becoming a practicing attorney?
Um, I'd say make sure your motivations are right. Kind of make sure you have a good idea of why you want to do it, because I feel like there are some people that go to law school as kind of like lost sheep.
Hmm.
They're not really sure what they want to do. They're like, I don't really have any science background or anything like that, so maybe they consider themselves not eligible to go anything in the medical field or something like that. But maybe they have a bachelor's of just kind of something general, like a liberal arts degree or something like that,
Right.
and they're not really sure what they want to do. They don't want to teach or pursue anything else, and they're just kind of like, oh well, I'll go to law school because I could be a lawyer that can apply to different things, and that's fine. But it is a lot of resources. It's not cheap.
Hmm.
It's a lot of resources. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of stress. So I said, make sure you do it for the right reasons, because I mean, that sounds like a pretty bad scenario where you end up spending all that time, money, resources, and killing yourself to get through that. Assume you get through, you're barred and everything like that, and then you start practicing and you realize this isn't really what I want to do. So I think whether it's taking time to kind of get a practical sense of what things are like, or if you have some other kind of driving factor, if you like have more of a specific idea of what you want to do, I'd recommend pursuing that, and kind of ironing out those points before you actually pursue it. And it could work out. I mean, I just admitted that I really didn't know what I wanted to do, and it kind of worked out.
Hmm.
But if it didn't, that would have sucked. But yeah, I mean, I just say make sure you know you want to do it and for the right reasons.
So what about
Because
that person that views, again, I'm going to come back to, watches shows like, you know, Suits and stuff, high powered,
yeah,
attorneys that may or may not be committing malpractice every single episode. um, but hey, it's dramatic. It's awesome, right?
yeah,
They're making millions of dollars. They're billable. They charge their clients what, $2,000 an hour.
yeah, some absurd, I'm
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Like, what if that's the goal? What if making money and having that prestige is the goal for this person that's
I
considering?
mean, it's definitely a route you can go to do it. It's not going to be always fun to do it.
Hmm.
Of course, in that show, isn't the one guy just like a stud attorney, like really really good, and the other guy's like literally has like a photographic memory or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like those are exceptions, right? I mean, like yeah, not everyone's going to be that guy. And I don't know, and it's going to be difficult doing that, and you have to keep in mind that you're going to have to cut your teeth along the way.
Hmm.
It's not like you're going to come out of the gate necessarily doing that.
Right.
So I don't know. It's a route you can go for sure. There's mad money out there to be made. You can go do it. But it's to me, I feel like that's more of an idea that would grow tiresome in my mind.
Hmm.
Like if I went to law school, being like, yeah, I'm gonna be Harvey Specter.
All right.
That would maybe keep me going for a little bit,
Hmm.
but not a career. Certainly,
Right.
probably not to the end of law school.
Right.
Um,